close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Right now at noon, students in one local school district head back into the classroom today. How it will look different this year. And as other districts get ready to start back up virtually, schools are having to get creative to make sure students have the technology and access they need to learn. Plus, the president floats the idea of delaying the presidential election. But is that possible? Our Verify team explains.
11Alive News at noon starts now.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Francesca Amaker. On this last day of July, Jefferson City schools are the first in Georgia to head back to the classroom, both in person and virtual. Jefferson City is in Jackson County, where there are 884 total cases of COVID-19, according to the latest numbers. Now, almost half of those cases are from the past 2 weeks. There are also 13 deaths and 88 hospitalizations. Now, the school district says they're taking precautions to protect students who choose in-person instruction. Mara Sirianni has more.
Heading back to the classroom during a pandemic is controversial. That's why leaders of Jefferson City schools say stay home if you feel sick. But for those parents wanting to send their kids back to the classroom, there are some precautions in place. The small school district in Jackson County serves about 1,500 students and 115 faculty. Today, many of those students and staff were welcomed back into the building. We saw bus drivers wearing masks and gloves as they dropped kids off at Jefferson Elementary. Many students also wearing masks. District leaders say it's strongly encouraged for teachers to wear face coverings. Jefferson City parents had the option of virtual or in-person learning. Parents we talked to at the school today say they're pleased to send their kids back.
Specifically, my daughter was having trouble doing the virtual learning. It was causing her a little bit of anxiety, just being at home all the time. So I'm thankful that Jefferson has opened their doors back up, absolutely.
I would have to quit work and teach at home, and it makes life very difficult, especially when my husband's overseas. We have to keep them in school.
I think you can practice safe distance and you do all the right things. But children are important, and I don't think they should be just kept at home. I really don't. Thank God they opened up. That's my opinion. I just feel like they should have went back.
District leaders say their team of school nurses are working with the Department of Public Health to implement proper safety guidelines.
Mara, thank you. And one of the biggest struggles of transitioning to virtual learning is connectivity. Not every family has a laptop or internet, or if they do, maybe they do not have one for each school-age child that's now learning from home. Well, school districts across Metro are trying to ease that burden. As Christy Diaz reports, they're having to get creative.
Welcome to the classroom of the 2020 pandemic.
100% virtual.
Marietta City Schools, Atlanta Public Schools, and DeKalb County Schools are just 3 of the districts going all virtual into the new school year. A decision most can agree is not ideal.
It takes a lot. I think many of us have learned that, to sit for a while and talk to a device. We miss human interaction.
On top of that, the FCC reports 25 million Americans lack access to a broadband connection.
You can't have a device and not have the basic Wi-Fi, right? And if your Wi-Fi is interrupted every 5 to 10 minutes, how effective is that engagement?
We had a family pull up to the school building who had 5 children, and she said, I've got 2 laptops, but can I get 3 more? And I think I need another hotspot. And literally, we're just trying to meet the unique needs of our children, so therefore they don't fall through the cracks of this pandemic.
Districts are doing everything they can to remove at least that hurdle from this new way of life. APS handing out 6,000 to 10,000 devices and hotspots, DeKalb buying Chromebooks, and Marietta City Schools gathering supplies from 3 different vendors to get the 700 hotspots they needed, and they're about to buy 100 more.
We had to literally cobble together. We got all the hotspots back from seniors. We're prepared to give them to kindergartners.
In May, 448 internet-enabled school buses were deployed to 36 rural counties. Thanks to a 5-month service donation, these buses will continue to provide Wi-Fi bubbles in areas of highest need at the start of the school year. Marietta also using this strategy and says not only has it allowed them to keep paying their drivers, it enhances connection far beyond what the internet can provide.
Literally every day on the same exact routes, the kids would lay a blanket in the front yard and just be able to wave to the bus driver and wave to a neighbor. It's just our effort to try to keep a sense of community, and obviously our effort to keep a sense of connectivity.
Remarkable. And if your family has a need for a device or an internet hotspot, we've posted links to several resources on our website and the addresses where those buses will be parked in Marietta. You can find that information on 11alive.com. The state is dedicating $6 million to get kids connected to the internet, as most schools districts opt for virtual learning in the fall. The money is coming from the CARES Act. It'll be used to buy things like Wi-Fi transmitters on school buses and other connectivity solutions. The governor's office says it's possible the buses could be sent to neighborhoods for a few hours at a time so kids have access to the internet. We also have a back-to-school guide on 11alive.com that breaks down plans for each Metro Atlanta district, and we can send it right to your phone. Just text us the word school to this number, 404-885-7600. Right now, we are an hour away from the deadline for candidates to file to be eligible for the special election to fill John Lewis's seat. At last check, Democrat Barrington Martin II and Libertarian Chase Oliver are the only qualifiers. The special election is set for September 29th, and we'll have more on the process to fill Lewis's seat tonight at 5.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm meteorologist Chesley McNeil. We are looking at a nice dry scan here on the radar, although we do have those cumulus clouds starting to build in. In fact, in most spots, you have mostly cloudy skies with just a few peaks of sunshine left over. We're going to continue to see that as we head toward the afternoon, but expect some light isolated showers to begin to develop pretty soon. I think within the next hour, we'll start to see some isolated showers begin to develop on the radar, and so we'll continue to monitor that as we head through the rest of the afternoon. Temperatures right now are running in the upper 80s thanks to that sunshine that we've had really through the morning. 88 degrees right now. That's going to be our high temperature today. May get a little bit higher than that before we start to drop back. Look for the scattered showers to be around after scattered thunderstorms rather, after 3 or 4 o'clock. 87 by 4, 85 degrees will be our temperature by 7 o'clock tonight. So if you're going out, make sure you grab that umbrella. When we come back and check out our full forecast, what we'll look at is the tropics. There could be a hurricane that affects our forecast this weekend, or will it? We'll give you the latest track coming up.
Chesley, thank you. Here at 11 Alive, it is our mission to bring you facts, not fear, and we want to break down COVID-19 cases to give you context of how the virus is spreading in our communities. The state reporting a sharp increase in cases yesterday, but a significant drop in deaths. Now, there are just over 3,900 new cases, and that's statewide, as you see it right here, up nearly 700 cases from Wednesday. But 29 new deaths, which is lower than the 79 deaths that were reported Wednesday. And there are 3,200 COVID patients hospitalized statewide, and that trend is actually shown in this orange line on your screen right here, and that's compared to the number of new cases. Now, Governor Kemp's executive order is set to expire today with no word yet on whether it will be extended. The order bans gatherings of 50 people rather, and mandates the medically fragile and at-risk groups to shelter in place. We've reached out to the governor's office about whether the order will be extended, and they say plans will be announced today. We'll continue to keep you posted on those plans as the day goes on. And with new outbreaks fueling a multiplying number of hot spots, officials are warning several regions need to take quick action to get the virus under control. It comes as new studies reveal how children can spread the disease and more action teachers should take in the classroom. Miguel has the latest.
As the COVID death toll rises to its highest level in months, at one point this week, roughly 1 American died every minute. In Florida, where Nurse Grover Street is on the front lines, the state broke its single-day record for COVID deaths for a third straight day.
This is really an apocalyptic time for us.
In Texas, home to the most fatalities in the country this month, this emergency room doctor says he's fighting 2 wars.
A war against COVID and a war against stupidity. The first one, I have some hope about winning, but the second one is becoming more and more difficult to treat.
With the nation soaring to 4.5 million cases, the White House again called for schools to reopen on schedule.
Young people are almost immune to this disease. The younger, the better.
But a new study says children under 5 carry as much of the virus in their nose as older children or adults. Appearing with President Trump to encourage plasma donation, Dr. Deborah Birx said full face shields or goggles might be part of the solution.
Tennessee has created special teacher packs to ensure that every teacher has a face mask, a face shield, gloves, and hand sanitizers.
In hard-hit Arizona, some parents are being asked to sign COVID liability waivers before their children come back to school. But art teacher Marcy Warner decided to retire instead.
I love those kids and where I taught and what I did, but I'm not quite willing to die for them.
Excruciating choices and widespread uncertainty with lives and livelihoods on the line.
And Georgia politician and businessman Herman Cain loses his battle with the coronavirus. His impact here in Georgia next.
Questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll
A fitting goodbye to a hometown hero. People from all walks of life came together to salute Congressman John Lewis. He's now home in the district he served for decades. He was buried there yesterday at Southview Cemetery in Atlanta. He's now side by side with his wife Lillian, who died back in 2012. They were married for more than 40 years. For 6 days, the country honored Lewis a hero's farewell. And 11Alive has been there every step of the way, from his hometown of Troy, Alabama, to his final resting place in Atlanta. Take a look.
No anger, no revenge, just a clean, pure heart.
We do not want our freedom gradually, but we want to be free now.
He's left me richly with the importance of having courage, standing up for what's right, and standing up for what you believe in.
Because a lot of people really appreciate what this man has done for them.
Thank you, Lord, that he was willing to get in the way. Thank you that he was willing to stir good trouble.
He was not trying to get attention. If it got attention, that's fine. But he was not doing anything to get attention. He was just trying to do the right thing.
We thank you for his leadership of SNCC and the March on Washington. We thank you for how he was bloodied for us.
I hope that we can carry the positive message that he had forward and build on that and look out for other people in our community.
He's never forgotten where he's come from and the mission that he started on. And he's never forgotten that. And he's fought for that all these years.
He built quite a reputation along the way. And the good trouble that led to real change.
Always keeping his eyes on the prize, always believing none of us will be free until all of us are equal.
And if you truly want to honor the legacy of John Lewis, get out there and vote. Early voting in Georgia is going on until August 7th. And of course, download the 11Alive app to see so much more about the past weeks of tributes, plus learn more about his amazing life and legacy. Former presidential candidate Herman Cain is one of the first high-profile figures to die from COVID-19. The Morehouse graduate lived in Henry County and made his mark in the business world. He also hit the airwaves as a conservative radio talk show host. During today's coronavirus briefing, President Trump remembered him as an American patriot and great friend.
He was a very special person. I got to know him very well. And we send our prayers to Herman's great wife, Gloria, wonderful family. And I have to say, America grieves for all of the 150,000 Americans who had their lives taken by this horrible, invisible enemy.
Herman Cain rose from poverty and shot into the national spotlight through business and politics. Hope Ford spoke to one of his closest friends.
I have been blessed to have achieved my American dream and then some.
Herman Cain was a well-known and successful businessman, eventually becoming the top exec at Godfather's Pizza. He often referred to himself as an ABC, American Black Conservative.
He pretty much gave a place where a lot of young Black Americans could say entertain the GOP.
Longtime friend and former executive director of the Gwinnett Republican Party, Bruce Lavelle, met Cain in the political circles. Lavelle called Cain a trailblazer and a strong Republican supporter. Here he is in late June at a rally in Tulsa for President Trump, his last public appearance. Cain, who lived in Henry County, opposed mask mandates and contracted COVID-19 at some point. One of Cain's former staffers tweeted, "I'm bracing for the cruelty online about how he deserved to get COVID and die because of his politics. They didn't know him. I did." Lavelle says Cain may have presented a tough persona, but wasn't someone to have hard feelings.
You know, a lot of people didn't know that, and especially with the type of rhetoric that's out in the political world, but I've never known him to hold a grudge.
Lavelle described his friend as humble, caring, and God-fearing.
He loved the Lord, and I think that ultimately was his light, as you might say, for who he was as a person. We're happy for everything that Herman did, but we're sad that God called him home today.
And funeral arrangements have yet to be decided and announced, but we will update you as soon as we get those. Chesley.
All right, thanks a lot, Francesca. We are watching the skies because those cumulus clouds have begun to form in our area. In fact, if you take a look at the radar, there doesn't appear to be any rain coming out of those clouds, but we're expecting showers to begin to pop up a little bit later on as we head through the rest of the afternoon. We'll have isolated showers first and then look for a few of those thunderstorms to get amped up as well as we get into the daytime heating. Speaking of heating, we're already there. A lot of spots showing temperatures already in the 80s. You're looking at 88 degrees right now in the city of Atlanta. We're at 86 degrees in Marietta, 89 over toward Athens, 88 also in Edenton, 88 also in Thomaston. So temperatures are starting to heat up. To respond to that sunshine that we had earlier, we're only going to give it a 5 today out of a possible 11 on the wazometer. We haven't had 11 in a while, let's just face it, right? It hasn't been a perfect day for us in quite some time. Again, I'm thinking 88, 89 degrees for an afternoon high temperature. The 50% chance for the scattered thunderstorms. So go ahead and carry the umbrella with you. You're going to need that, although not everyone gets wet. Again, it's only about a 50% chance for those scattered showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon. So we'll be watching that. As far as the rest of our forecast goes, you're looking at throughout the southeast, Well, we're only looking at a few scattered showers here. We're not expecting any severe weather to be around. Most of that will be back off to the west of us. In fact, there's a marginal risk for our neighbors over toward Alabama, but we're not looking at that moving into our area. Some of the thunderstorms that begin to form can produce some gusty winds. Also, some frequent downpours could be associated with a few of those as well. And so, again, be on the lookout for that. Carry that umbrella with you just in case you're going out later on this evening. In fact, best time to get out probably would be just after our show and go get some of your grocery shopping done, at least. Now, as we head into the weekend, our chances for the rain will start to lower just a bit because of the tropical storm that's over toward the Bahamas right now. Now, that storm will continue to push up toward Florida and then stay off the coastline. That's the latest from the Hurricane Center. We're talking about the hurricane that will continue to push over toward the weekend. Now, I'm going to ask the producer to go ahead, the director to go ahead and take my graphics as they're not showing up here behind me, but you'll be able to see those full screen. That will show that we have, I apologize. Looks like everybody's trying to call me and show me that my graphics aren't coming up. All right, so if you take a look at the video right now, you see a Category 1 hurricane. Those winds up to 75 miles per hour, moving to the northwest at 16 miles per hour. Will continue to slide toward the Florida coastline, but stay offshore. That's good news for us because we'll be on the west side of this storm, which means that the storm will continue to push. As it pushes toward the east, we'll be on the dry side of the storm. Now, notice the Hurricane Center keeps it as a Category 1 hurricane as it continues to push further up toward the north and east, probably making landfall over toward North Carolina by early next week. Will have minimal impact on our forecast if it remains over toward our east. Now, if it happens to shift to the west, obviously that will change the forecast. Right now, we are looking at a pretty dry day, especially as we head into the weekend. We're looking at only a 30% chance for showers to be around on Saturday, looking at a 20% chance for the showers to be around as we head into our Sunday, and we'll hold on to that low threat for the rain as we head through the rest of the work week. Francesca, back to you.
Chesley, thank you. Next, we'll hear his wife doing dishes in the background. All right, folks. President Trump floats the idea of pushing back the 2020 election. We verify if he even has the power to change the date.
Things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects.
President Trump is floating the idea of pushing back the 2020 election. But does he have the power to change the date? Our Verify team is separating fact from fiction.
When it comes to politics, it's hard to know what's real and what's just political spin. That's why the Verify team is here, focused on just the facts.
My name is David Munson.
For months now, we've been getting questions like this.
Can President Trump delay the 2020 election due to the coronavirus?
It's something that President Trump just suggested in a tweet. Quote, delay the election until people can properly, securely, and safely vote. So let's verify. Can the president actually do this? To get the answer, we turn to our experts.
Someone gets sworn in on January 20th.
Gary Nordlinger from the George Washington University.
A really scary, dangerous idea.
And Paul Smith from Georgetown Law. They tell us the date is set by the Presidential Election Day Act, passed in 1845. Hypothetically, Congress could choose to change the date. But here's the thing. There's a hard deadline for when the president's term needs to be over. And it comes from the Constitution. The 20th Amendment says the president's term ends at noon on January 20th, no matter what.
So you can change all these dates. You cannot change the 20th of January.
So we can verify false. The president does not have the power to cancel the election on his own. Only Congress can do that. And this brings up a fascinating hypothetical. Who would be our president on January 20th, 2021 if Congress decided to delay federal elections? And we should note this is completely uncharted territory. Even our experts aren't completely sure. Smith, our constitutional lawyer, says we could look at the succession order. Without federal elections for president, vice president, and the Speaker of the House, it would fall to the Senate pro temp. Right now, that's Iowa Republican Senator Chuck Grassley. Meanwhile, our political expert, Nordlinger, isn't so sure, saying that states can have continuity plans of their own and can call for their own elections. The point is, this has never happened before.
The election was held in the Civil War. This is a scary time, but it's not that kind of scary time. We need to have the democracy maintained.
Email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscasts not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people, or are you doing this to make money, or both? Both.
Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is thanking 3 inmates for helping save a deputy during a medical emergency. They say inmate Mitchell Small saw Deputy Warren Hobbs collapse and pass out near their cells. That's when he started banging on his cell door along with 60 other inmates. The sound was loud enough that Hobbs came to and was able to open the cell doors for Terry Lovelace and Walter Whitehead.
They used his radio to call for help, and the phone was ringing, and so one of the inmates answered the phone and was able to get help for Deputy Hobbs. It means a lot to all of us, and I repeatedly told these inmates yesterday, the entire country could learn a great lesson from you 3. They did the right thing, and they are so proud of themselves, and we're proud of them.
The Sheriff's Office says Hobbs had a heart episode, but is doing fine. All right, folks, we want to thank you so much for watching 11Alive News at noon. I'm Francesca Amaker. Stay safe.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.
In times of great uncertainty, some things become more clear. The things we take for granted, the people we depend on daily. Here at 11Alive, we'd like to say thank you. First responders, medical staff, sanitation workers, truck drivers, postal workers, and every brave Georgian doing their part to make a difference. We see you, we hear you, and we appreciate all that you do.
Let's start with a viral message going around. Quote, vast majority of people who died had ibuprofen Advil in their system. This message is fake.
We just bought 20 dust masks for $97.
Are you doing this to help people or are you doing this to make money or both?
Both. Take this email sent to the Verify team. Is it safe to have your house cleaned by outside workers? The best practice is to limit guests to emergencies only.
We know things are changing every day, but we're here with you. Continuous COVID-19 coverage during prime time. We're committed to giving you facts, not fear. On 11Alive News Primetime, weeknights from 8 to 11 on WATF.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Today at noon on 11Alive.
We are seeing that lack of smell or altered taste can be a symptom.
We answer your coronavirus-related medical questions. Because 11Alive is where Atlanta speaks.
Televised newscast not enough for you? Get even more at 11Alive's YouTube channel, where you'll find uncut interviews, extended body cam footage, live streams of Atlanta's biggest trials, and more. Subscribe to 11Alive today.